Now this is a very special video because I didn't plan on doing this video as quick as I am. I normally take my time doing this video, but it's a subject that is near and dear to me. Even though you're going to have to find the connection, which I'll definitely make clear. But I was asked a question about procrastination, and it led me to this place that I really feel like I need to talk about, guys. And it's something that I've been really procrastinating actually doing, but I think it's time to talk about it. So without going into the intro that I normally do and giving my salutations and all of those stuff, I just want to go right in. So a subscriber asked a question about procrastination, and would I do a video on how to avoid procrastination. And I've been dealing with things, guys, every day, right? Like I have so much on my plate, right? And this video may not be applicable to you at all. I said applicable earlier, but applicable to you. And it may not be a sensitive topic for you. You may not have to deal with procrastination. But for those of you who do have to deal with procrastination, because there's many different reasons why you could be dealing with procrastination, I want to explain to you how I dealt with my procrastination and why. And I'm going to get right into it. It's not going to be a long video, but so a little over a year ago, I had a situation where my 20-year-old son was here with me, and he was in a bad situation in Tampa, Florida, and so brought him up to try and make some changes in his life, do some lifestyle changes, and get him on point as fathers do. Now, the reason why my son wasn't with me is a whole nother other story that really is not relevant to this particular situation. But long story short, some things transacted on my property, and my security guard and my best friend, my brother, wind up being shot and killed by my son. And at that time, you know, I was in beeline mode for YouTube. I was in like, let's go hard to teach you guys the music industry, the music business. I was like, let's go, you know what I mean? After taking a hiatus, you know what I mean, from 2008, 2009, something like that, till you know, a year and a half ago. So you guys can look at the videos and see the transitions where I was coming from. But my son killed my best friend, and I was there. And just the way it went down, without going into too much detail, was, you know, as he carries his gun on his hip, my son pulled the gun, and it was pointed at me. And I don't think he was trying to point it at me, but it was pointed at me, and I don't know. But my security guard seen that, tried to grab his arm down, and then I watched him get shot. At the time, I had so much going on with a lot of you guys, and a lot of projects that I was working on with other peacemakers and things like that. And I almost went crazy. Literally, I almost went crazy because I watched this thing happen. And it's the first time I'm sharing this publicly. You know, I was really borderline there, because who can imagine witnessing something like that? And so much more details behind it that I'm leaving out, of course. But for the most part, after 2, maybe 3 months, literally 2 months at the most tops, I think, I shook it off a little bit mentally. But if there was a version of PTSD, or if I never understood what PTSD was, I understood it then. And I was really hesitant, or even doubted even coming back to YouTube. I procrastinated. And the thing that got me on board, and what you saw, was my wife picking up the task, and getting videos that I had already previously done online. But the procrastination was there. And You know, and I'll be honest with you, you know, I mean, without the pity party, you know, I mean, justified procrastination. And I don't know if you have anything like that going on in your life, you know, that would make you procrastinate. But what I did learn and come to understand, and my wife helped me, and this is what I was telling you about having a good spouse in your corner, a good mate in your corner to keep you grounded and keep you developed, you know, and keep you focused. You know, she said, listen, you know, this is what he would have wanted you to do, you know what I'm saying? And he helped me in developing this YouTube channel and stuff like that, you know, wherever he could. But she said, you know, this is what he wants you to do. And that aspect of it, that thinking outside of myself and being sorry for myself, and that I need to stay focused for someone else who I know would have wanted me to do this, is what took me out of that slump, that depression, man. And it's what drove me. It's what motivated me to come back and be better and do better. I still deal with procrastination a lot of times because I get in times where I don't really feel like everyone's really receiving this information well, or that I can be delivering it different. But when it came to the seriousness behind what I experienced, that was a large portion of my procrastination. And it's one of the hardest things to do, guys. It's one of the hardest things to do is to try to bounce back from something like that, and then continue on with your mission, right? Most people have been in a crazy home or just quit altogether. Because how do you come back from that? And I'll tell you something, you know, the hardest part for me within that whole experience was just the insensitivity of people who expect you to be able to perform, you know, get up, show out, and still perform and do your thing. You know, go do your thing, you know what I mean? Like, we need you to do your thing. Or people who just don't even communicate with you no fucking more because they didn't obviously understand, you know. But it was the hardest thing ever for me to do. But what I did was I focused on the mission at hand. I focused on, it was unfair that I started something with you guys, and it was unfair that I had thousands of people follow me, even though I think at the time it was maybe only 3,000 or 4,000 people. And I'm not gonna say only like you guys aren't important, the 3,000 or 4,000 at that time, all of you are important to me. But it was unfair for me to give up and quit doing what I had promised I would do for you guys. So my motivation was something greater than myself. In order to beat procrastination, you gotta have a plan bigger than yourself. And you have to wake up every morning, no matter what the circumstance is, and realize that if something happened to you today, tomorrow, next week, if something happened to a loved one today, tomorrow, next week, and they've been an intricate part of your life, and you promised that you was going to do better, be the best at what you have, wouldn't you want to fulfill that promise? Wouldn't you want to know that you fulfilled a promise that you made to a person, or your family, or your children? So the way to beat procrastination is realizing, guys, tomorrow's not promised. We take each day as, for I think the word I want to use, and I'm not editing none of this, I'm just going to upload it, I'm just going to add the little intro, but we take each day for granted. We take each day we wake up as something that's just supposed to happen. The only time that we really think about is when you start having ailments, when you're feeling sick, or you're drunk too much and you really don't know if you're going to make it because you feel just that bad. But honestly, guys, a lot of us procrastinate because we think every day is promised to us. And as a person who looked down the barrel of a gun and witnessed his best friend die, tomorrow's never promised. Even for myself, as I look you in this camera, tomorrow's never promised. And you have to think about that. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a person who procrastinated their whole life for however long you're on this planet? Or do you want to be someone who take advantage of the promise of this day, at least, this minute, being given to me to be able to share with you guys and do what I like doing, to try to make this a successful thing, to at least lay the foundation for my children who may one day come in and take over this media network and this publishing company and all these things we have going on, because I laid the foundation with you guys, and they're able to come back and understand what I was saying and what I was doing, and take over with my notes. If you don't start now, right, and understand that each day is a gift, because no man knows their last day. That's a given. Unless you take it, no one knows their last day. And I would just say to all of you procrastinating and bullshitting and fumbling around and twiddling your thumbs, that don't take this lightly, man. If you're serious about whatever you do, YouTube, music, drum, bass, whatever it is you do, whatever you are, garbage man, if you're serious about it, do not take for granted each breath that you take. And I know I'm sounding cliche, but from a person who is a realist, who I consider myself completely aware and awoke, I just have to be honest with you. Don't take this lying down. Don't take this the way it is, you know. And I sit back and I listen to a lot of you guys. I listen to so many of you guys, and the hardships and the ups and downs of life and the betrayals and all the things that you guys go through. I went through, right? And I sit back and I listen, and from a person who, like I just shared with you, went through that, I can see the simplicity in your problems. I see the simplicity in your problem. Not that I'm downplaying whatever you went through, just the simplicity in it. Because until you've experienced that firsthand, everything else just seems easy to me. So with that said, guys, let me just say to you that if you are procrastinating, or you have doubts in yourself, or you have anything that is holding you back, just know that you have a responsibility to the people around you. You have a responsibility to yourself firstly. You have a responsibility for what you have put out to the universe and the creator of what you want to see achieved and done. And it's a reason why you're at this channel. You asked for someone to mentor you, you asked someone to teach you. And no, I'm not the music god per se, but I am someone willing to help you and give you more information than most will give you for free. Please take advantage of that. Please don't procrastinate, because tomorrow's not promised. And please share this message for anyone else who you think may be dealing with something that's they just can't get out of the loop, or they find themselves in the loop and can't get out of it. All right, guys. With that being said, I am your man SG1 from the Peacemakers and Music Millionaires TV, saying, of course, music is life. Make it a part of your life. Listen to it. Let it inspire you. Let it motivate you. Let it relate to you. Let it drive